Hello, my friends. I'm very excited. This is the first video of us making a scarf together. And so I figured that it was a good way to kind of begin crocheting because I'm going to go over the different types of stitches and we're going to do it all in one scarf. So then you'll kind of learn the basics, but then also have a product at the end. So I'm going to use this colorway. It's the Karen Jumbo Ombre. I'm not going to use all of it probably, but it's going to change color as I go. So you can kind of already see that a little bit. So this video, we're going to be talking about single crochet, half double crochet, and double. Since those are what I talked about in the little crash course that I posted, I'm going to go slightly faster. And then after that one, we'll get into different techniques, different stitches, and tips and tricks and all of that beginner fun stuff. I talk about materials and everything in the crash course, but I figured I would just kind of show you again. So I showed you the yarn already. This one recommends a 5mm hook. I'm going to use a 5.5, especially just to make it a little bit easier to see on here. But so I have that, and then you're going to need a pair of scissors and a yarn needle. To start, you really just need the yarn, a hook, and some of these little stitch markers, just to make life easier for yourself at the beginning. So you need yarn, a hook, and stitch markers to start. By the end, you'll need a pair of scissors and a yarn needle. All right, to start the scarf, slip knot, chain 25 plus 1. So you're going to have 26 chains total. I'm using a 5.5 hook. The back of my yarn recommended a 5, but I prefer the 5.5. If you're just starting out, I would just go based off of whatever the back of your yarn says. If that's confusing, please watch the crash course. Once you've chained 26 total, we are going to work it a little bit different. So this is the front of the chain. That looks like a braid. And then this is the back. If you can tell, it has those little bumps that you can see when you turn to the side. We're working into those this time. So this first one is always a little bit difficult, and it's the first one that you can possibly go in. So just use your fingers to kind of work your hook into that loop. And then we're starting with single crochet. So yarn over. Pull through just that loop, yarn over, pull through both loops on your hook to make a single crochet. Now work into the next back bump. As you go, they'll get easier to see and easier to work into. And the reason that we're working into this back bump instead of into the regular loops on the chain is because this is going to allow the chain to stretch a little bit more, so you won't end up with like a starting point on your scarf that is really just like stuck where it is and can't be stretched anymore, and a scarf that you can kind of stretch at the other end. So this will help us kind of look more uniform. All right, so here we are at the end. I just wanted to show what this looks like. So these are the last two. Insert into the loop. Yarn over, pull through. Yarn over, pull through. This last one looks like it's like on top of the knot, but we're going to work it anyway. Yarn over, pull through. Yarn over, pull through. Look at you in your first row of your scarf. Okay, so this is what it's going to look like working into that back bump. So I'm just kind of showing it to you really quick. So I think it looks really nice. You can feel it when you stretch it. There's no like resistance, and it kind of looks the same on the top and the bottom. So that's your first one. And then you did a total of 25. All right, so to start the second row, chain 1, because that puts us at the height we need to be for the stitch. So you can see that chain. Turn your work, always turn it towards you so that the end of your project is like coming towards your face. instead of like away from you at like the TV if you're watching TV. So once you're flipped, you're skipping that chain that you did to get yourself on the height of single crochet and putting your hook into that first stitch. Yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through both loops. Again, insert into the next stitch, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through. Insert into the next stitch, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through. Keep going, do that to the end. All right, here we are at the end of the second row, so I just wanted to show you what that looks like again. Yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through, and then when you get here, that's your last stitch. Insert, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through. So now you have 2 rows. Way to go. Chain 1, and we are going to do 5 rows of single crochet. So just again, turn it towards you. Skip the chain, put your hook into the first stitch. Yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through. And again, 5 rows of single crochet. So we are on row 3 right now. You do not count the chain as a row. So this is what it's going to look like once you have 5 rows done. Again, my yarn is changing color because that's just the yarn that I chose. So now we're moving on to half double crochet. Chain 1, because half double is also only 1 stitch tall. Turn your work towards you. And now this is where it's going to change a little bit. So half double, you yarn over first. Put your yarn around your hook. Then you insert into that first stitch. Yarn over again and pull through just the stitch. So now you have 3 loops on your hook. Yarn over again and pull through all 3. Next stitch, yarn over first. Insert your hook into the next stitch. And then here, yarn over, pull through all 3. Yarn over, insert into the next stitch. Yarn over. So here I decided that once I did 3 half double crochets that I'm going to put a stitch marker into the first one. So you just insert the stitch marker where your hook goes in and then snap it closed if you have them. This is just going to make it easier for us to see the last stitch when we come back around. So now that that is on there, I'm just going to keep going like normal. So complete this row of half double crochet. Once you get to this point, I just wanted to show you what it looks like. So the row below that we're going into is still singles, and then we're just doing half doubles. So there's the second to last, and then here comes the last stitch. And this will make it obvious why that stitch marker that I put in is kind of nice. Chain 1, is that your stitch height. Turn your work towards you. This is what it looks like with that stitch marker on the end. So that's going to be your last stitch. Now it's just super easy to tell, and you don't accidentally put stitches into your chains that you're making. Skip the chain, yarn over, insert, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, insert, yarn over, yarn over. Once you do a few, go ahead and put a stitch marker in there again. So right there is where we're going to put the stitch marker. Stitch marker. Put it in. Snap it closed. And this is just so that we can see. Like when I'm just crocheting on my own, I don't do this anymore. So eventually you will get used to it and not have to tell yourself where the last stitch is. You will be able to tell. But the stitch markers are such a nice way to start out and not get super frustrated. So we are doing 5 rows of half double crochet, just like we did with the single crochet. I believe right now we're on row 2. I'm voicing over. I don't really remember. 1, 2. Yeah. So now here's what that end looks like with that stitch marker. So we're going to do our second to last half double. And then you should be able to insert your hook into the stitch even though there's a stitch marker there. So just ignore the stitch marker basically. And now you know for sure that you're working into the right spot for your last stitch. And your scarf won't like change widths throughout it because you know you're hitting them all. Chain 1 to get on the right height. Turn your work towards you. Do 5 rows of half double. Once you've done those 5 rows, you'll kind of be here. So you can see that the single crochets are a little bit more dense than the half double crochets. And we really built some height there. So these stitch markers on this side, I decided to keep. That blue one I put into the last row of singles. And then the orange one is in the last row of half doubles. So you can kind of tell the width difference between the half double stitches and the single stitches. So on this side, I'm going to keep those to give you a visual of how much different the height of the stitches are. So here's where we are. So I've already chained 1 over here just to kind of keep it secure. So right now we have a chain 1. I'm just taking that stitch marker away so I can use it again. Now we're on to double crochet, which is the height of 2 stitches. So I'm chaining another. So total at the end of your last row of half doubles, you are chaining 2 to move on to doubles. Turn your work towards you. Now that you're on double crochet height, oh, I'm just going to take this one out too really quick. Hold on. Okay, I'm going to keep using those. Anyway, you're still going to yarn over. I'm showing you the chains. 2 chains. 1, 2. There's your stitch. Yarn over first. Insert your hook into the stitch. Yarn over and pull through just the stitch as usual. And then here's where it changes. yarn over, pull through the first 2 loops on your hook. So now you still have 2 loops on your hook. Yarn over, pull through those 2. All right, again, it's taller. Yarn over, insert into the next stitch, yarn over, pull through just the stitch, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. I'm going to put a stitch marker into that first stitch again so that you don't accidentally miss it. Okay, that is our first row of double crochet. We're also doing 5 rows of double crochet. Just showing it to you again. Yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Look at you. We're just breezing through this scarf. And if at any point you need to count stitches, you should be able to count as you go on a row and still have 25. Especially if you're using stitch markers. Got a little lost in my camera there, I guess. All right, so keep going. Here's the stitch marker at the end. Here's what this one looks like. Pretty much the same as the other stitch markers. So here's your second to last. And your last. Just work in there with that stitch marker. Gorgeous. Chain 2, because you want to be on double crochet height. Double crochet is 2 stitches tall. 1, 2. Turn it towards you. And keep going till you got 5 rows of that. All right, my friends, you have 15 rows of crochet. 5 of single, 5 of half double, 5 of double. Here's the height difference with the stitch markers so you can kind of see. If yours is curling on the ends like mine, don't worry about it for now. I'm going to show you how to fix that at the end. But yeah, I'm going to post the next part of this in a few days, and we're basically going to just be doing these stitches again, but plus like a little skill. So if you're worried about these 3 stitches just like this again, do another section. That's kind of why I wanted to do a scarf, so that you can kind of like alter it as you need. and then it can be as long or as short as you want. But if you need more practice on single, half, double, and double, start with single and do another 5 rows of each. And I will see you back for part 2. Proud of you.